Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Dark Bant Beans with no Tamiyo. We pulled her out. She is likely to get banned in February, and I'd rather just play different brews that explore what will happen once she's gone. So what I'm doing in her place is I'm playing more black, so I have Thoughtseize, and I have Pest Control. This is a card very exciting. It can be cycled for 2 colorless if you just don't need to cast it. But what does it read? 1 white, 1 black sorcery. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less. This is very good against Delver, as you can imagine. It's very good against any sort of construct-heavy strategy. It's good against a lot of the go-wide strategies that involve Ocelot Pride, and I'm excited to play it and see how it works. So we've got 2 of these main deck, and then we have the 4 Thoughtseize. Those are our black cards, and then the rest of the deck is just white cards, Leyline Binding, and Plow, and we have tons of blue. We've got 3 Murktides, 4 Riddlers. Those are how we close the game, and of course, we've got green in our deck solely to cast up the Beanstalk. So even though it's a 4-color deck, we're really just blue-white with a little bit of a black splash and really just 4 additional green cards. In the sideboard, we do have 3 more, though. We have Carpet of Flowers, which is really good against Tempo. Got a couple Terminuses if we need to stop even wider strategies. I've got 3 Hydroblasts, and that's a concession to Blood Moon. I don't expect to run into it, but we do have 3 Lorien Revealed that can go get our basic island, so we could hypothetically Hydroblast a Blood Moon if it came down to it. This also answers Chalice, which is nice. And it's notable that there's nothing in our deck that this destroys except for Carpet. And we can just cycle it if we already have a Carpet out and we don't want to risk blowing up our Carpet. But I'm hyped to play a full league with this. See you in round 1. We're up against Katsuhiro Mori, a Sneak and Show mage. And one of the reasons I've been losing a lot to Doomsday and to Sneak Attack type or show and tell type strategies, and I think Thoughtseize is an incredible card in that matchup. I think we just keep and we just Underground Sea Thoughtseize them. If they waste, it's a bummer because we don't have a way to kick off Lorien. It's a risk I'm willing to take based on their history. Every time you take a big risk, looking at somebody's play history and saying, okay, this is how I'm going to go forward, but you take an even bigger risk looking at not looking at their play history and just hoping. And they're on Tempo. They don't have a Wasteland. Oh, wait. Is this Doomsday? Why are they playing Daze? Well, I'm going to take the Brainstorm. Their hand does nothing. Got tons of mana over there, though. If they draw Show and Tell, they don't have anything to put in. But why would they be playing Petal in this deck? I have no idea. There's the Petal. Strand is counted for. There's the other Petal. Do you have the Show and Tell? No, because you wouldn't have anything to put in. Right? They would have drawn the Show and Tell, so they wouldn't have anything to put in. Okay, so here, this is very simple. I'm going to Lorien Revealed. I'm going to go get a Tundra, and then I'm going to Brainstorm. Actually, I could get a Trop here to Brainstorm just in case I hit like a Wasteland or something. I can still go with the Beanstalk, which is going to be important for pulling ahead. They may very well Daze this. I said Brainstorm, I'm going to Ponder. But I'm not going to sit still and do nothing with my turn. They want to Daze. That's the Daze they can't use later. So land number 3, Force of Will. Okay, they are going to Daze this. That's fine. Interesting. So they grab that, valuing their ability to surveil. Okay. So at this point, I do want land number 3, and it's a Tundra, which is great for us. I don't hate the second Thoughtseize. Yeah, I think I just take the Tundra now. I'll take the Thoughtseize next turn, and then I can Thoughtseize and then Beanstalk. I can always take the Daze with the Thoughtseize if I absolutely need to, but I am going to have Leyline Binding up. The fact that I have 2 Leyline Binding, I hope they play Show and Tell here. I'll be ready for it. Okay, is that what's happening? Sneak Attack? Okay. I can't stop this, but I can exile it next turn. Let it go. They don't have the ability to put something in. That's good. All right, so the conservative thing to do is just clear this, and that's what I'm going to do. I could Thoughtseize first, but I'll almost certainly just be taking Daze. I think I'm just going to go for it. They could have double Daze. That's certainly a possibility. If I Thoughtseize and I see that they have double Daze, I could just not do anything. I think I'm going to try this. If they Daze here, I will just go ahead and go forward with my Leyline Binding. Okay, I will just take the Daze here. And now I won't ever have to deal with that. I could have taken the threat, but they could draw a new one. But they're not going to be able to replace this. So take that. They may have like Ottawara or something. Their hand is Atraxa. And what was the other card? Volk. Okay. Next turn, I'll up the Beanstalk. If they have like an Ottawara or some way to clear this, then they get this back and they can immediately party. I feel like Thoughtseize is such a game breaker here. Such a powerful card. So my hand is perfect. I'm not going to change anything. If they show and tell, then I want to be able to put the Leyline Binding in. They'll still get a trigger, but it's not as devastating as it would be. So I am going to go ahead and cycle with this. Let's get another Tundra here. It is my most useful card in general. Yeah. Play this out. Just in case I draw a Thoughtseize, I'll keep the black up. Because, as I may have said, like there isn't a mountain in the deck, so I can never cast one mana. Leyline Binding, it's 2 at the cheapest. They have tons of mana. They're not going to be able to cast it because they used 2 of their petals. They would need 2 more, and then they could cast this from hand. Worth noting that it's possible. Okay, here, I think this is probably just... I mean, I have a full-size Merc. Yeah, I'll just full-size Merc. And then I'll hold Brainstorm in case of an emergency here. I could put Lorien on top of my deck next turn. I don't hate that. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I could draw like 4 cards and I'll probably find a stack generation spell among them. We drew a second Leyline Binding, not bad. They scoop. That felt really good thanks to Thoughtseize. I cannot overstate how important this card is to surviving against these decks. It just shreds AB combo decks. So Hydroblast, get in the deck. Force Negation, get in the deck. I think all the plows come out. It doesn't do anything in the matchup really. Pest Control definitely comes out. Yeah, that's clean. We could bring in Carpet. It's just not where I want to be. Consign isn't really where I want to be. I think I'll run it like this. We could also go down a land. They're unlikely to waste us, but they are playing Daze. Yeah, I'll just keep them all in. This is a hand. Yeah, they're going to have trouble getting through all this, but we don't have any early plays. But, I mean, just having triple force, pretty good. Ponder. So, the moment we get a chance to riddle, we can riddle just to get deeper into our deck. I'm so happy to not be playing with Tamiyo. I know it's correct. You should absolutely be playing Tamiyo right now, but it feels so right to not. I'm kind of thinking of floating this out here just to deter them from surveilling if they find a surveil land. But realistically, we're almost certainly tapping the Quantum Riddler next turn. Okay. This is show and tell mana, but they're not going for it. I can waste this during my turn to deprive them of mana. I'm not sure that that's important. I think it's probably more important that we draw cards, but I don't really want to tap out. I think given the circumstances, I am going to waste here. Okay. And that just happens. We have triple force up. We'll just chill. We are drawing to 21 remaining mana sources. We have a very good chance of 21 and 51 of finding a mana source on any given turn. And even if we have to discard, it's not the end of the world. Let's brainstorm to try to find a mana source. They made Daze here, which is fine. Looks like they're just going to pay for a Daze. That's fine. I'm not going to fight that. Our goal is to stop them. We got it 1-for-1. I feel confident we will draw land. Stock up. This is a force. Force pitching Merc. They force back. I will let your force resolve. Now I'm going to force again. I'll pitch one of my Riddlers. If we get low enough in cards, we draw 2 cards off Riddler, which is great, but now I only have 1 blue card and 1 force. Come on. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can find a land. I think this is great. So I'll take the land now and just play it. And then I have Riddler on top. Murktide can come down and end the game. I actually think Murktide might be better than Riddler. Yeah, I think I want to draw Murktide next turn and just end the game. Let's see. Wait a second. Yeah, because this goes in the graveyard and then I have 5 cards. So yeah, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and play out the land now. It doesn't really matter when I play it out. I don't expect them to have Wasteland. But this at least pays for Daze. Yeah, if they had Daze, that'd be embarrassing. So let's go ahead and Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7 on the stack. In. All right, how we do? Let's force that. Okay, that worked. So they could have an enabler and a win con. Check this out. You ever seen somebody draw two cards for two mana? Pretty beautiful. Boom. And what Thoughtseize them. Why wait? Love my Thoughtseize. This matchup was basically unwinnable before we added Thoughtseize. And now it's like, how do we ever lose? I don't care about a Braid. It doesn't do a damn thing against my deck. It doesn't kill any of my creatures. You can shuffle your deck and you can take 7. It does nothing against my deck. I don't have Tamiyo in. I don't have any artifacts in my entire 75. It is a dead card. I'm so happy that it's in their hand. We do have Surveil. I can put the thing on top and Thoughtseize them. There is a window where they could win now. Because they draw, like Emrakul, they draw a show and tell, they can win. They didn't win though. Good game. That was a great start to our league. See you in round 2. All right, we're up against Echo Baronin. I don't know that I've ever played against him before. He's super chill if you haven't checked out his channel. Probably on a tempo strategy. If he's on tempo, which he's usually on, this is a very bad hand. I think I mulligan this and try to find more mana. Thoughtseize is really bad against aggressive strategies. This is a great hand. I will keep one Pest Control. I don't think we're going to need both of them. And then I can just float a fetch out there so I don't have to worry about getting wasted. I'll tell you a story about Echo Baronin. Okay, this is great. We can clear this. He is the kind of guy that reaches out because he sees you're using like a mediocre PNG file of the MTGO trophy that you like screen capped. And he sends you like this high quality asset. He says, hey, use this on your thumbnail instead. That's what he did last week. I could Surveil here, but high likelihood he has a daze. I do think I Surveil. I'm not going to cast anything into potential daze. I'll give him an extra clue. I can blow up the clue with Pest Control. I think that is not necessary in this matchup, but I do have a force in my hand. Yeah, I think blue-red strategy. I think he's almost certainly just on a tempo deck. So here what I can do is I can ponder. I don't think he's going to daze this. Okay. And really more of the same. These cards aren't bad. What am I looking for ideally? Like a Plows? I'm not looking for this stuff. Wasteland. I could just waste him. I have so many lands. I don't hate that. This, you never waste Delver, except I just wasted Delver. Call me a crazy person. But like this crimps their ability to cash in the clues. I need at least 2 more turns to set up Pest Control anyway. Clues out. Second maiden phase land drop, probably. Okay, Strand. If he is on 3 colors, what I just did is probably pretty effectual. Because he doesn't have a fast start, I am going to go ahead and Thoughtseize here to get a little bit of idea of the lay of the land. Figure out how soon I can attempt this Beanstalk. Okay. I mean, Riddler is probably the best card in his hand right now. Flipping Tamiyo is not a big deal, but I can't deal with it if it flips. I might need to work through these Force of Wills. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Force. Okay, we'll pass. And I think what is most likely is I bait with the Beanstalk. He does have a Wasteland in hand. It's worth noting. Plow I don't care about. Like, I'll get a 2-for-1 off of it if I play my cards right. So he can waste here. That's fine. And he's going to continue to stack up clues. Again, this will be a problem if I can't get that second force out of his hand. I don't think he has a daze. I think I go for Beanstalk here. And I think it's just going to get forced. This does mean that like Riddler's going to be closer. He's going to be closer to being able to riddle. Yeah, that's fine. So they did pitch the Riddler. So I think his hand is Ponder, Plow, and 1 unknown. Ponder, Plow, 1 unknown. And now he has 2 unknown. Okay, Ponder's fine. I think he's looking for land. But you can imagine how devastating this pest control is going to be if it resolves. It blows up all the clues. Like it completely erases Tamiyo. It's like she never even existed. And she can't flip to get out of this because she'll die regardless of which side is face up. It doesn't target. My opponent knows I went after force. Okay. I think I have Bayou in my deck. That's it. That's the last black source. But we'll see what happens here. Plow. I mean, Plow just cleanly kills her, but I want to aim high. I think I'll play this out and hope that he doesn't have Wasteland number 3. And then next turn I can just go get the Bayou and Pest Control. It's fine. Please don't have a land. Because if he has a land, he can cash in one of those clues. Okay, Brainstorm's fine. This is not a big deal at all. But it does increase the likelihood that he finds a force. I could have plowed there. I've just kind of accepted that I'm probably going to lose. I mean, look at the card advantage he's already accumulated. I've just kind of accepted I'm going to lose here if this pest control doesn't work. There's the land. They're fetching immediately. What is this? Please play a 1-drop. Okay. Yeah, that'll die too. This pest control is going to be insane if it resolves. Absolutely nutty. All right, let's go get our... I mean, this is the moment of truth here. Bayou. White, black. Pest control. Please work. Holy guacamole. That was actually only a 2-for-1, but it felt like so much more because of the insane nature of Tamiyo. Okay. So we still don't know what his game plan is. He's just a generic blue deck with Tamiyo. He does have a plow in hand. I don't want to cast Merc into a known plow. If I can get a Beanstalk or something first, it'd be great. If I can find a Thoughtseize, I'm just going to chill. Like, we don't know that he hung on to the plow, though. Did he shuffle after he brainstormed? No. Wait, let's think. That really informs whether I go for this. I mean, gaining a bunch of life is not bad. Where did he cast the brainstorm? That was recently. I don't think he's shuffled since then. I'm going to chill. I would hate to just have it plowed and that'd be that, you know? Okay. No need to fetch here. Let's ponder. This could be like a Bowmaster, but I can just plow it. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to attempt a Beanstalk here. And now my patience with the Murktide will turn into an additional card. I'll pass. I don't need the other plow, but if they do start jamming creatures, I might take it. They scooped. Incredible. Incredible. This guy's one of my heroes. It's great to play against him, and it's great to win. So I don't know enough about what he's doing. We did see red. I think Hydroblast comes in. I mean, we did see red, right? I'm not hallucinating. He led with Volk. So he's on, yeah, he's on some sort of 3-color, like Jeskai. He had Wasteland. I think Carpet does come in. I think I'm going to take out my Wastelands. That's a really easy substitution you can do. It's worth noting that that does interfere with my pest control, but again, they put cycling on this. I'm so grateful they did. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what to take out, frankly. We could just take out our forces, but like they're good with Beanstalk and we don't know what we're going to be up against. I don't want to go too threat light. There's a good chance they are taking out some plows though, since we seem to be just a semi-creatureless Beanstalk list. They have Riddler, which makes me think that they're playing some sort of Jeskai Felia list. So I'm not going to take out the plows for sure. I mean, it could be that like pest control is great there, but it's not going to be great later. If they're doing Felia stuff, it seems to be doing bigger stuff. I'm not convinced pest control is actually right here. Hydroblast may not be right either. We didn't actually see any red cards. That might just be a splash color. You know, I think we speculatively keep one pest control. That's probably better than speculatively keeping a Hydroblast. Because it could be that that's just like for Pyro. And they just need it as a third color for their prismatic endings. We didn't see any other red cards. This hand is totally cracked. Snap keep. So we can plow an early Tamiyo. Ponder. Okay, great. So generally with this deck, in my humble opinion, you generally want to go Tundra into Bayou, and then you have all 4 colors. That's nice. That simplifies things. I'm just going to hold. Because this negates Wasteland equity. Man, I am having a heck of a league so far. I'm loving this. Yeah, I'm not going to interact with that. They could be mana screwed, but they could also just be presuming I don't have Daze in my deck since it's a big deck. We didn't see Daze in their deck either, though, right? So I think Daze is not super well positioned right now. That's my humble opinion. This can be a surveil. I think we've got plenty of lands. I'm going to go ahead and surveil and just get it out of my deck. It would be annoying to draw it. That is a snap keep. That's going to be good in this list, in this matchup. All right, I think I can just play it and then use the Mana of the Ponder. They might fight over this. They are going to fight over this. Is this Spell Pierce? That is Spell Pierce. Well, I mean, I'm tempted to force it because now it gives me even more mana. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. And you might be saying, well, you're throwing out your one thing, but like, I'm going to find like a Quantum Riddler or something and get value off of it. They force back. Okay. So yeah, we don't get it, but it's fine. The card that they pitched was a force. So they had double force handed again. I could just go get Tundra and just set up Ponder so I have something going on. I don't hate that. It would be annoying if they just stuck. Well, it's not that big of a risk, actually. I was going to say if they stuck a Tamiyo and then immediately brainstormed a flipper. Yeah, this is more of the same. I don't need these cards. I can just clear. Yeah, let's just draw some. Okay, that's a good card. That's a very good card, especially when we have Delta. So now we can decide if we don't need this Leyline Binding. If they're not doing anything. Wasteland, please. All right. So I'll just chill for a turn cycle here. I don't think they're doing anything, but like, yeah, we'll get some information and we can just end step this. I probably will. All right, I am going to end step this. They're not doing anything and I don't like having this much permanent removal. Okay, this is great. So I don't think I need these. They could waste me again. I think I'm going to go for the Beanstalk here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to upkeep just in case they have a Daze. Now I will, or a Stifle rather. They do have Stifle. Unbelievable. We know the next few cards are pretty bad. All right, well, I'm going to Ponder here. Now I can see why they fought so hard over. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to Ponder because I know that my next few cards are bad. They're thinking about interacting with this, which is terrifying. What could you still have? My goodness. I mean, I would Spell Pierce in a second, in a heartbeat. Lorien Revealed is safe. It can't be, it can't be stifled. I'm just going to keep it though. And they can, well, if they have a Wasteland, that's that. I'm not going to wait around. I'll shuffle. Yes. Freaking awesome. Okay. So now we do have Brainstorm up, but like Brainstorm. Okay. So I think what they're doing, like with the Stifles, maybe they're not even playing Felia, but why wouldn't they be playing Felia? They're in white. They're definitely looking for Wasteland, I would presume. I'm going to definitely bring in, I don't know if I brought in all 3 carpets, but I'm definitely bringing in another one. I am going to go ahead and do this now. They've already drawn the 3rd card. Yeah. Okay. So we don't have to, there was no risk of her flipping there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Looking for fetches. Lorien Revealed is an honorary fetch. I'm going to put back Leyline Binding. Let's think about this. I think I put back the forces. And then I Lorien Revealed and then I attempt to cast Carpet. And then if that works, I can Beanstalk. Yeah. So we do have a Trop in our deck that we can get here. You have a Stifle? They have a Stifle? No! Gosh, that's brutal. Okay, well, I mean, we're just doing a whole lot of nothing for the next few turns. They're down to 1 card. Land for turn, okay. So we're drawing Force here, and then we can't do anything, and then next turn we can, draw the other Force. Then we can do nothing. Okay, they're probably surveilling here. Indeed they are. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this one, unfortunately. Riddler is insane here. There's nothing I can do about it. They've got 3 cards in hand. If they find another land next turn, they can actually cast it. I will force it. They can cast it next turn. Do they have a stifle for the trigger? What is this? Another Riddler. Yep. You are going to win this game. I think we can concede here. Like, no, I'm not going to concede. I have plenty of time on my clock. I can force the first one and then maybe draw a green source and start getting Beanstalk going. I have Leyline Binding. Like with Beanstalk, it'll be okay, but they just went up 4 cards in 1 turn. Like just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane turn for them. They've used 2 stifles. And 1 Wasteland. It doesn't feel like it should be that backbreaking, but it just goes to show how even 1 Wasteland is incredibly disruptive. All right. So here, I have no choice but to just chill. I can't pay for Spell Pierce. I'm going to force Quantum Riddler when he comes in, assuming they play him. Yep. They have 5 cards in hand. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a force. They have 1 force in exile. Yeah. Okay. Well, that worked. But unfortunately, we have to do the same thing next turn. Come on, Green Source. Let's do it. They didn't have the force earlier. Tundra. Or Trop, rather. Trop. Arbitrarily large amount of green mana, thank you. Assuming this resolves. If they force, I will scoop. But they didn't force earlier. They could have fought over that guy. They do have the force. Is this necessarily a scoop? It's not necessarily a scoop. Yeah, I'll just chill for a turn cycle. If they have a Wasteland, it's the game, though. I know, I keep moving the goalpost for what constitutes me scooping. I'm just having fun. Like, this is definitely, like, my kind of matchup here. So they get 1 card, but they do have the big body. So I need to draw a black source. There we go. So we're going to start with this. Please don't have a force. I think they've used all... Have they used all their forces? Okay, that works. We draw... All right, let's go ahead and do this. I'm just going to try to remove this during my turn before they untap. That's nice. All right, we get it. They can probably bounce this back to hand. They may have Brazen Borrower in their deck. They have 6 cards in their grip, but we do have Beanstalk up. Yeah, it sucks. We did get a card. It was a 3-for-1, basically, if you count the Leyline Binding. But they got 2 3-for-1s with their Quantum Riddlers. And if they find another Quantum Riddler, they can just warp immediately. It's bad feels. What I can do is I can go put a Mystic Sanctuary on top. That's a great rip. I'm going to go ahead and do this first and see whether it resolves. The card I want to put on top is probably Lorien Revealed, just to hope. They've used a lot of their stack interaction. Force. Okay, that's their last force. All right, I am going to put Lorien Reveal on top here. And I'm just going to go for it. They could have another Spell Pierce. They may very well be playing Mystic Sanctuary themselves. Triumph, that's not a big deal. All right. This card's not for this matchup. I'm actually surprised it's in the deck. I am going to go ahead and plow here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and we're going to attempt to draw some cards here. Lorien Revealed. Yes. Let's draw Lorien Revealed and cast it, and hopefully they don't have a Spell Pierce. They have a Pyroblast, which, you know, they're down to 1 card. We have all 4 of our Riddlers in the deck. They only have 2 left. We haven't drawn... We've used 2 of our forces. Okay, this is Riddler. Oh, Triumph. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I've got like 3 turns to clear her. I mean, I might die to her, but she's not that big of a deal. Okay, this is great. Green, blue. See what we can do. Yes. Mark. Let's do it. They haven't used any plows, but they may not have plows. I'm going to make this full size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't really attack them yet, but I do get a draw trigger off this. Okay, just a land that I can play. I will play it. I might need this land drop later. Yeah, let's do it. I've used my hedge maze already. Where is my hedge maze? Have I not used it? I haven't used it yet. That's great. Well, I can use it. Okay, let's go get it. Wait, I guess I did use it. I don't see it anywhere. All right, well, I guess I'll get a Bayou. I don't know how it didn't end up. Oh, yeah, it's just a different border. That's why I didn't identify it as a land. Okay, this is probably just, yeah, Felia. That's fine. Okay, Leyline Binding on Felia is clean. Let's try that. They have one card in hand. Okay, so we are going to take out Felia here. And I'll just chill. I don't have to attack them. It's not beneficial for me to attack them. I'm going to hold this in hand just for, so they don't know what's in my hand. And also I might draw a Brainstorm. Plow. Okay, that's fine. So I don't really care about this too much. It's 4 turns to kill us. Let's ponder. We're looking for Riddler. I'm going to go ahead and just use the warp. I'll draw just one card, unfortunately. Oh, if I had played out the land, I would have got an extra card. That was dumb. Yeah, that was really dumb. Okay, so I get an extra card here, but I don't get an extra. I just get the card that I was already going to get. Now is when they're low resource, I'm going to plow now. And next turn we can replay this and get it again. Oh, I wish I had a second card though. That was definitely a punt. Because I would have drawn up to one card, but then Riddler would have seen that I still had not very many cards. I'm glad I didn't scoop this match. Holy cow. When they were casting those Riddlers, I thought everything was over. Carpet is not a great rip. I will play it out just so I can get a trigger. Belly is fine. Okay. Blue. Well, I should do this after post-combat just in case I draw something interesting. I've got 10 minutes on the clock. Let's go ahead and do that. I think I have an island in my deck that I wouldn't mind pulling out, but let's add a bunch of blue. We even have one blue left over. Draw trigger. Now it comes in. Question mark. We get 2 more cards. Okay. So let's go ahead and ley line bind here. And I think we're going to get a concession pretty soon here. Just an insane match. Insane. They say GG's sweet deck. GG's. Thanks. Love what you're doing, man. Keep it up. Everybody check out Echo Baron's channel and subscribe. He's got great videos. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're up against a pretty strong gamer, mid-determinist. They trophy a lot. We're on the play. I think this is a Thoughtseize hand. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Bayou Thoughtseize. They're most likely on the big mana blue deck. And it just feels so great to be able to turn 1 Thoughtseize people and just know what is coming. Their hand is insane. Cards. Flare Denial. They're on freaking, what's it called? They're on Allurin, like I play, but I think Flare Denial is not good. I'm seriously considering just taking this Oracle because it represents the Flare Denial and it also... Maybe I just take Force here. Pest Control doesn't do a damn thing against their deck. I'll probably just cycle it in step. But I do feel pretty confident they're on the learn. They're playing basics too. Quantum Riddler is annoying. I can't stop it. It's guaranteed card draw. Yeah, I think I just take the Riddler because it represents a lot of threats and inevitability. Yeah, and we'll just pass. Leave a comment with the timestamp if you disagree with that take. But like, this is going to be a long game. They're not a fast combo deck. They are a combo deck, but they win like very late into the game. And also, I need to play faster. That decision took a long time. Okay. Murktide is fine. I'll just chill. They are going to get a card off of this, and there's nothing I can do about it. If they don't play like a Tamiyo here, I am definitely going to just Pest Control cycle. Yeah, I want to get deeper into my deck here. I'm not confident this will win. This doesn't stop their combo. Okay, they're brainstorming in response. Why? Okay, so we get our card. It's a Thoughtseize. Great. Okay, so we're actually like pretty close to murking here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. They might eventually like do a force. I think they do have force in their hand. Okay, they're fetching. They could have Veil, which would be terrifying. Don't have Veil in your main deck, please. Don't have freaking Veil in your main deck. Okay, brainstorming. Calm down. Calm down. Be excellent. I freak out a lot. If you're new to the channel, I'm a worrier. Okay. Okay. Well, Ice Fang, technically Coiling Oracle is even better, but Ice Fang can block. I think I just take the Ice Fang here because they're pretty far from being able to actually do anything. This can ramp them. I think I take the Coiling Oracle here. It's going to be a few turns before that gets Death Touch. I'm one turn away from being able to do something with this. Next turn I'll Merc, and it'll almost certainly just bite the Force, I think. Or the Flare Denial. That's fine. That does make my Leyline Binding pretty awkward. Okay, I can't remember if they already played out a Trop or... Yeah. Okay, so I do have Merc. I have double Merc. I think I'm just going to go all out into Merc here. And I'm just going to do a baby Merc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess a 7th one. I'll leave Thoughtseize in my graveyard just in case I do file it back. Okay, they're going to Ice Fang, and I think they're going to draw a card and they're just going to counter, which is fine. They get a free Flare Denial. That's fine. So it's basically like a kind of like a build your own Force of Will. Okay. And they still have Force. Riddler, that's unfortunate that I can't interact. They have a lot of mana too. Yeah. Actually, I didn't see that. So I think that's a new card that they drew. They're 2 turns away. It's sinking to the Stupor into the yard. Interesting. Like, I do feel confident they're playing Allurn, but I haven't seen any black. Maybe they don't need black. This is really awkward. That Wasteland was really good. And this is 4-color deck problems. If I were on the Bant version, it probably wouldn't be as big a deal because I probably would have just fetched the green. I haven't fetched the whole time, have I? They have another one. Okay, I need to just plow this. It's going to come back and haunt us later. Let's do it. Okay, now they get the card. So they have one in exile that will come out maybe in a turn. Okay, so the best draw would just be a green source so I can stick this Beans. Come on, deck. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's pretty bad. They're going to 2-for-1 us when they bring this Riddler in. And I did exile 1 and they drew 2 more. So it's not like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. It's just they keep drawing Riddlers. Abhorrent Oculus is abhorrent. I will let it resolve. Birthing Ritual is fine. This is a really cool deck, by the way, what our opponent's doing. They have 2 cards in their hand. It's Coiling Oracle and Force, most likely. I do want to attempt to... I can't Leyline Bind, so I guess I plow here. And then they Force, and then they've got Birthing Ritual, getting them a new card every turn. Oh, what? That worked? Okay, great. Okay, so I'm terrified of Quantum Riddler next turn. I need a land. Come on, deck, give me a land. All right, let's go find a land. Force plus land would be ideal. Oh, it sucks. I think I have to Bean. I can get rid of this. It's just like, how are we ever winning? Okay, let's think about this. So if we Beanstalk, they have to play a creature, which they can just get one of their dude out of Warp. He's still in there. Of course, he's not signified as being in there, but he is in there. And then they can draw a card. They do all this stuff. So, and they're going to do it whether I like it or not. So I'm just going to chill and wait for the thing to come in because I don't want them to draw a trigger and draw 2 cards, if that makes sense. I don't have agency here. They would have absolutely forced my Beanstalk. My hope is that they force my Leyline Binding and then they do their thing and then I at least get the Beanstalk in and I can do something here. Okay, and I need to let this resolve first because if they force, then they have 1 card, they get an extra card. It sucks. It's a terrible situation. This is a really cool deck my opponent's playing. Yes, you get a card. Hopefully it's not a land. Okay, it is a land. So now, all right, and I have to get a green source here. Let's go get Trop. Unfortunately, my last green source is going to ETB tapped, but I have to do this. Actually, I should have freaking gotten the Underground Sea. That was a punt. Because then they would just be wasting an Underground Sea, which I don't care about. Instead, they're wasting my Soul Remaining Trop. So that was a pretty big punt. They're going to force here. I'm pretty sure they still have the Force in their hand. Otherwise, like, they brainstormed earlier, right? Okay, so we'll just sit back and watch the fireworks as we die because we are dead. Watch this. Yeah, they're just wasting right now. Sure, whatever. Doesn't matter. So this gets replaced with like something that blows up a land or, no. Interesting. They didn't find anything. Well, that's good. Unfortunately, it's not good enough. Okay, so they are at 1. They're going to draw 2 cards. I'm going to just murk. It has to be good enough. I don't think they play days. I'll just pay all my mana. That way I can preserve. I've got 1 more left in the deck. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue, blue, blue. Okay. We got a 7/7. They can't attack in. The odds of, like, they look at another 10 cards in the next end step, or 7 cards. I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 cards. They have another Riddler. Okay, well, I'm done. I'm sorry. Like, this is not going well for us. We're down time. Okay. So they're wasting us. Carpet is insane in this matchup. Like, I saw a lot of islands there. I saw Wastelands. I know it's not a true tempo deck, but it is close enough. I don't think Consign's where we want to be. Pest Control can come out. That's not good. Thoughtseize is excellent. They're not pressuring our life total at all. Yeah, maybe I just bring in 2 carpets. And then, like, I would like to bring in a forced negation, but I just don't think it's good enough. This is really interesting. I'll play this on the... I've tried this deck before. I've never seen just a pure blue-green version, but it makes sense. It's not going to have good removal, though. Okay, so this is Bayou into Thoughtseize. And then, yeah, this is a snap keep. But I am going to lead Bayou Thoughtseize, and hopefully they don't waste me. But if they waste me, I've got Brainstorm to potentially dig. We'll probably just take a turn. But you always lead with... I mean, our opponent's deck is a combo deck. It's just a very resilient combo deck that's slow. But it is functionally trying to jam through that Birthing Ritual combo. So Bayou is the card here. We're going to have all 4 colors. Okay, so they have a pretty bad hand, frankly. I think I just take the Tommy. Then they don't have any sort of stack interaction up. Yeah, this is great. Then I can go Beans. Okay. Yeah, I think there's a decent chance here. I think they kept an iffy hand. Like, probably on the strength of Brainstorm and Tamiyo. Okay. Now we go up to Beanstalk, and then the game just gets better and better for us. I will force fight over this. They're brainstorming. That's fine. Hopefully they're brainstorm locked because they're getting an imperfect brainstorm. Like, the ideal thing would be they wait till next turn. So I'll force pitching brainstorm. Then I keep Riddler. Okay, we're in. Insane. We got a land for next turn too. All right. You riddled me last time, and now I'm going to riddle the heck out of you. They have the Riddler. I just let it go. No, I'm not going to let it go. I've got a freaking Beanstalk. All right. Mystic Sanctuary. Riddler's out of the way. They did find a lander up, though. So we're not, like, it's not going to be a total one-sided game. Options. I could Surveil here and then guarantee I have a blue on top to protect for Force of Will, but I'm going to draw 2 cards. I think it's fine. I'm going to go like this. Draw 2 cards. I'll draw at least 1 card. Okay, there's a Plow. That's good. That answers Oculus. They don't have Oculus online. If I carpet now, does it accomplish anything? Not really. I think I just hold it. Unfortunately, yeah, I think this has to Plow Oculus is what it has to do. If they're able to stick Oculus, which would be a miracle. Birthing Ritual. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about this right now, but I'll clear it later. All right, this is a blue card for Force. I'll keep it. Now we'll draw. I actually have enough mana with this resolving to go ahead and do that in the end step, so I'm going to do that. All right, so we go to combat and then post-combat, always yield. Yes, let's add some blue. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, we'll draw 2 cards here. We got a body on the table. Nice. So I think Lauren Field withdraws 4 cards next turn if we get into that situation. I think what I want to do is I'm going to force Oculus if it comes out. I'm not sure if this Brainstorm's still in their hand. Quantum Riddler. I could just deny them the draw. Yeah, I'm going to try this. I will pitch. Yeah, they scooped to that. They saw my life total change. When you start to force it, changes the life total in MTGO. So they knew that wasn't going to resolve. Yeah, I think I keep this configuration. They're not an aggressive deck at all. Thoughtseize really good here. I do like having those plows because they have smaller creatures, and if we can just keep them at bay, I can see why they're not playing Murktide. They're playing Oculus because Murktide would be too high a mana curve for using Birthing Ritual, but Oculus is just right. Carpet was really good there. It's tempting to bring it in just because they're wasting us and we're a pretty mana heavy deck. But at the same time, being able to waste them is good, but it's not what our Wastelands are for, frankly. Yeah, I'd rather have Carpet than a Wasteland here. Their most dangerous spells are creatures, which makes me not want to bring in Force Negation. You can consign triggers, but it's not beneficial. I think consign is way overboarded, just like Surgical and like a lot of other classically overboarded decks. Like I can see the merit and like, oh, you just stop that beneficial trigger, but you 0-1 to yourself, or 1 for 0 to yourself. Yeah, that's what I mean to say. I think this is fine. Yeah, I don't want to go too low in lands because they are playing Wasteland, and I do want to be able to Lorien Reveal, but Carpet just busts this open. That hand was insane, and we were on the play. So this game 3 is going to be much more of a ball game, I think. This is a great hand. Snapkeep. Okay, so Murktide's fine. I think this is just Delta pass with days predict. Like, I don't think they have days, but they could have days. We haven't seen it. But I can grab the Surveil land. I don't have an immediate need for green or black, so I think the Surveil land is probably good. I would like to line up subsequent lands, and I just hate drawing Surveil lands. That is fine. It's land source number 3. We're just going to play extremely defensively here. Make our land drops pass. It's fine. So they're getting a perfect Brainstorm. All right, they're fetching. They are on lots of basics here, which I respect. Hopefully they don't have back to basics in their deck. That would suck. That would totally solo me. Coiling Oracle is a good card. It resolves. They've shuffled, so they don't know, but they do find a Wasteland there, and that's bad news. Okay, so I'm going to just... I mean, like, either of these colors is vulnerable, unfortunately. I definitely don't want to waste, like, plow this. That feels like a total waste, but this represents a banked Force of Will, essentially. So I am going to get a second Tundra here. It feels bad to do so, but getting wasted off white would be pretty bad. And I think they're going to waste me off green now. Yep. So if we draw... I mean, I can ponder for our lands. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do this. They already know I have a land, but if I find a green source, I might go ahead and cultivate it. These are fine. Yeah, actually, I think the Brainstorm is really good here. Yeah, I want to keep the Brainstorm in hand just in case of an emergency, and I will play this out and we'll pass. They've got 5 cards in hand. Hitting that Wasteland off that, and yeah, it gave him a huge tempo swing. So we'll take our 1. So this is just a pure blue-green deck. It's very rare that you see pure blue-green decks. Harbinger. So I can just fight over the actual thing. So I'll let it come out, and then I have double force. This should win a fight. They have days. Oh, man. What a brutal sequence. All right, so they're almost certainly going to win here. I shouldn't pitch Murktide because Murktide could win in the air. It's unlikely to win, but they don't have a lot of removal. So I'm going to pitch Brainstorm here. They force back. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, no. They forced the thing instead of my force. I just punted so hard. It's not even funny. I'm probably going to lose now. Okay, but I am going to stick a giant Murktide here and hope to kill them with it. Blue, blue, Murktide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is basically all I've got going on. Riddler could have worked here too, but I just need to kill them quickly. Their deck's weakness is it doesn't have removal. I think they can put this out like next turn and block. I think they have one card in hand. I'm going to force this. It sucks. But like I think the best chance of us winning is they just can't draw what they need. Birthing Ritual. I think that probably does it. Yeah. Oh, such a punt. Like, yeah, me forcing the wrong, like, for some reason I thought the daze was going to resolve and then, yeah, like I forced the daze, but they actually forced the underlying spell. So they're going to go get, yeah, and now they don't technically have Death Touch. I'm still going to keep playing. Oh, I forgot I had that. I wish I could use that. I might be able to use it later, but most likely, yeah, they don't have Death Touch. So they could hold back and then trade with it later. They can't really sacrifice this to do it. This is Punishing Waterfalls list. He top 8'd the challenge yesterday. I love Punishing Waterfalls. He's taking 7 here. Yeah, I mean, like, just that punt was huge. And now they get the ability again. They attack. That's fine. I don't care about my life. I just need to end you before you end me. If, like, they would have gotten 2 cards off of it, and they would be replaying the thing right now if I hadn't forced. I don't regret forcing. Okay, let's see what they get. Coiling Oracle. Okay. There's still a chance. This is just extremely small chance. They found a Brainstorm. Carpet. Oh, you're killing me, Carpet. You're killing me, Harbinger. That's what's killing me here. Okay, so they can Brainstorm here, and it's possible we make it, but it's unlikely. Punishing Waterfalls has been doing a lot of Birthing Ritual lately, but it makes sense to just have a pure blue-green one. All right, did you find the answer? They're low in life, so the second Merc might be able to get there. What is this? Sink into Stupor, probably. Abhorrent Oculus is a flyer that chumps, and they can use the ability if they want to sacrifice a creature to go get something else. It's just a matter of time. This Coiling Oracle is definitely going to get upgraded. Another one. Okay, so now that this is dead, these are 5/5s. Okay. Yeah, we're not winning anymore. I really wish we could win, but like it's difficult to imagine what we could draw here. Force of Will is not bad, but it's just too late. So one of these dies in combat, and then yeah, I'm not going to stand still. The game gets worse for me. So they'll double block and I'll kill one. It's fine. And then, like, I'm still 1 card away from deploying a second Murktide, but it won't be as big as this. I think we can safely concede here. It's a cool deck. All right, well, that ends the trophy. I genuinely think that there's a good chance that had I not screwed up that force, had I forced back with the other force on the stack and, like, had I looked at what it was targeting, for some reason, I just thought it was targeting my force on their days, but it was actually targeting the underlying spell, which is correct. But the way they did it on top of like what was going on confused me. So there's my pathetic attempt to explain away what happened. We're up against Delthar. Very strong player, frequent trophy leader. Delthar has been playing a lot of mono-white initiative type stuff. I think this is a keep against that because we have double force. And then I can surveil to get a land. If they're on the Carnforge deck, or the 12 post deck, this is also good. I'm going to keep this. But they're mulliganing, which is the behavior of somebody who's doing something very aggressive. Okay, they kept 6. Island. Okay, I think they're probably just on their 12 post that they've been playing blue post. All right, so we'll pass. We have end step, Lorien cycling. Is Plow unlikely to do anything in this matchup? Okay, so let's go get a Tundra. They do have that Merfolk, potentially, that jumps out and snipes activated abilities, which I will force. Okay, I don't have to force it because they don't do it. All right. We're getting closer to a Merc, which their deck is not great at answering. My instinct is just Quantum Riddler here. I don't think they play any soft permission. Just gets us closer to the next card. Banks it for later. I don't have anything to do next turn anyway. Because I could like Lorien Cycle, but what am I looking for? Brainstorm. Next turn I could like Lorien Cycle. I could Brainstorm, put away the plow, then Lorien Cycle. I just need to make sure my land drops keep coming. Okay, 4 mana. This is a Force of Will. Probably don't need to tell you why. This card is absolutely annoying to play against. Okay, that worked. That's great. Okay, now I think this is just Brainstorm. Okay, these are fine. I don't need this. This doesn't even matter against their deck. It doesn't do a damn thing. And then I'll put back this plow. Now I can play this out. Yeah, I probably should have actually just Lorien cycled for another Tundra, and then I'd have this up. No, I wouldn't have it up because I need 2 mana. So I think my decision here is, like, we know we want to shuffle those cards on top. I think it's fine to just wait and just have extra mana up and also preserve some mystery around what we're doing. We're almost certainly going to have to force here. I'd like to force with the Ponder. They gain some life. Okay, no plays. That's great. And one of the reasons Murktide is so good against their deck is because it has a huge CMC, so it's hard to exile with Kozilek's Command. So I got a Tundra here. Yeah, it's Tundra. Hedge Maze. We're so close to being able to deploy Merc and hold up Leyline Binding, but we're not quite there. I'm just worried that there's going to be a good card on top, and then, yeah, I'll do it though, because I want to be able to cast this next turn. I don't need another land. Okay, now we have Merc. Blue, blue. I will tap this. Merc. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make him full size. 7, or not full size. 7/7. The biggest I can make him. That's 3 swings. If they fight over this, I'm fine with that. I need to stop One Ring. Kozilek's Command. This means that they have the thing, the Planeswalker, but I have to kill the Planeswalker. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's tempting to just force this, but I need to stop the Planeswalker itself, and it'll come out sooner or later. I just need to stop it. It's going to be able to exile my Merc, unfortunately. They may be able to set up a force as well, though. Okay, they topped all 3. Terrifying. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this game, unfortunately, if they're topping all 3. Oh, they're forcing here. That's great. Deal. And now they don't have anything to exile, even if they have the guy. Urza's Tower. That's a lot of mana. This is the force, whatever it is. Thunder Trap with Offspring. I am going to force this. It's a lot of cards. It sucks to have to do that, but I feel like it is necessary here. I am going to go ahead and just play out my land. Let's see what we draw. Another Leyline Binding. I can't quite get 2 cards off of it, but there's nothing to bind. I'm going to go for this. I don't want to sit still. I think it's almost certainly just going to get killed when they cast their Ugin. Then I'll exile Ugin with Leyline Binding. Beanstalk's good. I mean, they still have 2 more cards that they topped, so I presume they're bangers. Stock up. Okay, that's a good card. And they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they can definitely cast Ugin this turn. I'm not sure how many Ugins they're playing. And then another stock up. Okay. They're just refilling their hand over there, which is something I'm going to be doing soon too. They are low in life too. They've been using their Ancient Tomb. So One Ring is less good. They have Glimmer Post to regain life though. They have currently 2 posts out. 2 loci. Okay, now they have 3. And this is just insane amounts of mana. Like they're Emrakul mana. All right, let's see what we do here. Thoughtseize seems insane. Let's do it. They force. What are you protecting over there? It's terrifying. What would be so good that you would force it? I'd love to find... what could I even find here? Just not a force. Yeah, I don't actually know what I could find. I only have 1 black source, so another Thoughtseize won't do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they just had the big guy and we drew a total brick. I'll come in for a hug here. One of these is going to definitely get exiled. And unfortunately, if they exile the beans, then when he resolves, I won't draw trigger off Leyline Binding. Yeah, here it is. Yep, Ugin, Eye of Storms. It is targeting that. Okay, that's good. That's good for me. So that means that I get a chance to do something here. Unfortunately, they are going to get to activate it. So when they put the activation on the stack, that's when I go for this. But they still gain a bunch of mana and life. So I do get a card draw here. And they can't have force, can they? Oh, they can, because they can pay these and they can filter a blue. It's what a beating. What a freaking beating. Okay. So I'll just try again next turn. I'm not going to concede to that, but that is devastating. Okay. Did you draw a colorless spell? Okay. They didn't. All right. We're still alive. I mean, they're actually really low in cards, but we have to forever worry about them just, getting this back into our hand somehow with like a Sink into Stupor. So I think this is just, let's start with the Brainstorm here. Because I do want to put this Plow away. Okay, these are pretty bad. All right. But Brainstorm is not atrocious. So I'll just go ahead and I can put Mystic Sanctuary. I can put a Thoughtseize on top. I don't hate that. But I mean, they could just have a land in hand. I'm going to get to draw. I think just putting Brainstorm on top is fine. Yeah, because my Source of Plowshares is basically a dead card. Okay, so now let's do this. White, blue, Leyline Binding number 2. All right, and for all I know, they could have more of these lined up, sadly. And they'll kill my Beanstalk next time. But I do have Leyline Binding up with Brainstorm in case of like an absolute emergency. I could Brainstorm. They usually only have 2 of those in their deck, but they might have 3 or 4. Stock up. I mean, I'd like to counter this for sure. I don't know whether this is what their draw for turn was, but I think letting it go would be a mistake. I might be able to find a Lorien revealed here. Let's try it. Okay, Beanstalk is great. Wasteland's fine. I can hit that. Yeah, I'll do it like that, and I'll just redraw this, unfortunately. But I don't think the Plow is where I want to be. Okay, let's see what you do. And they can almost certainly cast whatever it is they find here, too. But if it's One Ring, I can Beanstalk and then Leyline Bind. And I can clear at least one of those bad cards, the Plow. How do they win? They win by just freaking making you concede. That's how they win. And that's what they're going to do here if I don't find a way to Crown the Great Creator. That is fine. They do have the mana they need to lock me out of the game. Let's see what they get. Mycosynth Lattice. White. So this resolves, and then I just take Karn. I think I just take Karn now. If they have another Karn, this is very scary because the second they resolve a Karn, but Karn himself is very terrifying. Okay, so unfortunately this does mean I'm going to draw like the freaking Plow that I didn't want. I don't think this negatively impacts anything my deck does, but everything is colorless. Oh, it means I can't force anymore. Yeah, there's that. We cut them off this. Is it even that impactful? I think it does reduce their mana production quite a bit. Let's go ahead and do this. I just want to see what I draw here. It's weird to see everything be all Eldrazi-like. Pest Control doesn't do anything here at all. I can cycle it though. I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Riddler. Set us free, please. We're just dead if they have another Karn though. Like it's just the game is over. Yeah, I can't cast Force, unfortunately. Maybe I should have fought that actually. Yeah, maybe I'm dumb. Yeah, let's go ahead and take them off this. All they need is a single Karn, and that's that, sadly, after all our fighting. I can cast Force of Will, but I have to pay 5 mana for it. Do you have a Karn? They have 4 Karns in their deck. K come in, they can go find a Karn. Like the odds of us winning are extremely low here. That does it. Let me just verify. I can't force concede. That sucks. Yeah, and just to be clear, like if I had gone after this instead, they probably would have gone and gotten some really nasty permanent from their sideboard. But I could have forced it, and I could have forced that. So I do think it was probably correct to go after this instead of that. Yeah, I think that was a punt. I will say it's a very tough deck to play against because it's just like it is inevitable like our deck, but it's inevitable in a different way. So plows come out for sure. I do want to keep the wastelands in. I need to make 3 cuts here. Oh, pest control comes out for sure. I only need to make 1 cut. They don't go after our lands. I'm going to take out the basic island. Let's do this. I will say we have tons of blue sources in this deck. Like basically just Bayou and 2 wastelands. Those are the only non-blue sources out of our 20. So we've got like 17 initial blue sources. So you can always cut the island if you're confident they're not going to bring in non-basic hate. Yeah, but that was a heartbreaker because we were really far ahead. We were very far ahead in terms of cards, in terms of board presence. But it ultimately doesn't matter because them locking you out of ever tapping your lands for mana again, that's good enough. All right. I don't like this hand. Doesn't do anything, but it does have a wasteland in it. I'm going to keep it. And then I'll just Lorien Revealed. Yeah, I don't want to mull. All right. And I'll just see what they do. Like they're almost certainly just going to play some ETB tap land or something, and then we'll waste it next turn. Yeah. I don't think I Lorien cycle yet because I can do this. I'm definitely going to waste this. Yeah, I'll just waste it and I'll pass. You always waste their initial lands, like unless it's just like a, like I wouldn't waste the other locust, but I will waste that. Okay, Planar Nexus. Again, that may seem like it would have been a better wasteland target, but they would have had 3 mana this turn cycle. I do think I'm going to go ahead and cycle here just to make sure I have a land lined up for next turn. So this is just get Trop probably, or no, Underground Sea is way better. If I find a Thoughtseize, it's insane. Okay, so I think here the play is brainstorm and see if I can find it. Like I want to put back these Murktides for sure. They don't do anything early game. Oh my goodness, this is pretty bad. So I don't have a way to shuffle. I'm going to play this out and then I'll just chill. This hand is terrible now. But next turn I'll brainstorm again and hopefully find a land. But it's definitely better than just casting Quantum Riddlers into Warp. Okay, 2 of these. Okay, that's not bad. That's not a terrible start for us. That doesn't mean that if we find a wasteland, it's not going to be particularly impactful. Right, so Leyline Binding is not going to get cast. I feel confident about that. I'm going to go ahead and try to find a land here. All right. So Wasteland, I just play out as a land, sadly. And then I warp. I'm not going to waste them this turn cycle. Unfortunately, our hand does nothing, but we're getting deeper. So they do have a window where if they have one of their many multi-mana spells, they're going to have a free pass, basically. I can cast Leyline Binding next turn for 3 mana, but it's 3 mana. It's all we're going to be doing. We're drawing a Leyline Binding next turn, so we'll have to Riddler again to get deeper into my deck. Okay, that's a one-time burst of mana because I'm going to waste it. Okay, Karn. Yeah, Karn is a very good card against control decks. We'll see what they get. They might get the thing that like locks down our land. What is Invasion Submersible? I've never even heard of this card. When this artifact enters, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay, that's pretty good. Exhaust, Waterbend 3. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on it. They can tap lands and creatures to do this. I don't even know if that matters, but it is a potential win con. Main thing is just bouncing stuff to our hand. Okay, so I'm going to probably just take my medicine here and Leyline Bind Karn. No, I need to waste this. It has to happen. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a land here. But you have to waste this. If they'd had one earlier, they would have played one earlier. This is the only one they have. Draw trigger. All right, that's nice, but we have to take this out now. And it's scary because they're going to get another turn with Karn. But what can we do? We do have pretty big Murktide next turn if we want, but I'm almost certain I'm going to have to probably brainstorm to find a land. Just please don't have some big burst of mana this turn. They also could have grabbed this just because it's a blue card that pitches the force. Baragoyf, not a big deal. Even if it connects, it's so unlikely to find creatures. I'm not worried about it. Let's see what they get here. They are beating the pants off of us here because of our mana situation. The One Ring, okay. That'll be fun. And I say that with the utmost sincerity. All right, so we just go get the Bayou and then we kill this, but then they One Ring next turn. I'm more scared about One Ring. We can't get the Bayou. We have to get the Trop. Yeah, it has to happen though. And that gives Karn a turn to go up. I don't care about this connecting. It could find another Baragoyf. We could give them one tap of this ring. I think that's fine. I'm just beaten up that I don't have a force. They most likely have a force here. So this has to happen. We have to keep moving our game plan forward in terms of mana development. So we'll get our Trop here. I'll play it out. It does make sense just to reduce the likelihood of them having it does make sense to remove this, and then next turn we remove the other one. And next turn I will be able to brainstorm as well, so I might be able to find like a force or something. I think this is forced. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll see what they hit with this, and we'll see whether they have a third land. But this will tick up, and it'll be able to get yet another wish. Also, even if I resolve that, they could have just put this in and bounced it back to hand. But it would have been summoning sick. You can't draw bombs and lands. Oh, they drew the bomb. Okay. Yeah, that's good. We're just getting completely slaughtered here because I don't think it was a greedy keep. I don't want to mull a whole lot, but I didn't have the forces and the consigns and cards like that I needed to be able to win here. This is doing 4. That's fine. Odds of you hitting a Baragoyf are very low. Could hit the Otter. They hit a Hull Breacher. Okay, that's not good. That's pretty good against my deck. And now we're just in a situation where Leyline Binding has to do so much work here. I didn't even find a land. Okay, so I'm going to brainstorm. That has to happen. They can't Hull Breacher yet. I'm going to shuffle away as many of these Mercs as I can. I have zero confidence that Merc gets there. I actually don't even know what a winning sequence would look like. They may even have a force in here, judging by the fact that they're thinking so hard about that. Okay, so yeah, the game's over, frankly. Because let me explain it, because people often say I prematurely concede. So hear me out. We don't have a way to stop Hull Breacher from hitting the table. They're going to be drawing 2 cards from turn. This is ticking up, and this can just go get with it. Like, it ticks up for one more turn, and then it goes and it threatens Mycosynth Lattice, which locks us out of the game forever. Leyline Binding goes in here, but they already have an answer to it. This was just total annihilation. I got completely dominated, frankly. And I don't think that my other Bant deck would have done any better in this particular, with the cards that we drew. Obviously we drew Thoughtseize instead of some Bant card and stuff like that. But I think that you're going to lose a lot of these matchups. This deck preys on fair decks. All right, and now for another terrible matchup against Painter. Lightwalker, a dedicated Painter player through the years. Very strong. Pest Control is great in this situation, though. I'm going to keep this. They probably don't have main deck Blood Moon, but it will definitely be coming out of the sideboard. I will just open with a Thoughtseize, and Pest Control can do a lot against their deck. Grindstone. Okay, that's fine. So LED? Okay. So we might die next turn, but thankfully we have Thoughtseize to hopefully stop that from happening. I'm tempted to just get the Bayou so I don't... No, I've got a green source. I'm going to get an Underground Sea. Because I've got Murktide coming. So if they have double Painter, we're dead. They don't, but they have double Engineer, which is terrifying. Does this mean we're dead? I don't think it directly means we're dead, but this doesn't die to Pest Control. What was their other card? Do they have a land too? Yeah, they have Ancient Tomb. Okay, so Goblin Engineer for sure. I can't stop this, unfortunately. So they're going to search. Yeah, there's the painter. Okay, so Pest Control still clears these so that they can't have an artifact in play to swap. And killing the Grindstone is not bad by any means. So it's not going to be a perfect Pest Control, but it's not bad. All right, we're going to do it because I don't want to die. Okay. I have really enjoyed this card. I like it a lot. Okay. All right, opponent. Removal does something here. But they can no, they actually have to swap and then, yeah, I have to remove this. And what they can do if I remove this, they don't have an art. They would have to put this in the graveyard. Yeah. All right. We'll see what happens here. Another Pest Control doesn't do it. So here, this is like a brainstorm. And then shuffle away like all the stuff that doesn't do anything here. Hopefully Pyro is not their last card. Okay. So Landline Mining actually does get rid of this. And then they have to have the second Grindstone. They can bring back a Grindstone, but again, it costs them that. Yeah. So this goes back for sure. I don't like Pest Control here. It's probably better than Murktide is at this point. Also, keep in mind they're going to have a ton, and we got a Force, which is nice. They're going to have a ton of blasts in their deck. Oh, they can blast to get the painter back, the engineer back too. But it really doesn't matter. I just have to go for it, sadly. I mean, Pest Control is probably weaker on a whole. Yeah, I think I'll just do it like this. Now we go get the Trop. And I'm not taking my chances by giving them another turn. I'm going to go ahead and remove the engineer now. So we get the Trop. White. Blue. I mean, we could wait till the turn has started, but I don't want to give them the ability to untap. Okay. And then we basically just have to protect this like nobody's business. And by the way, if I had gone for this, they could have swapped it out. So you have to go for the engineer. Okay, they are opting to bring that back. That's fine. So I'll just force the other painter. Hopefully they won't have a blast in addition to it, but they absolutely could. They have two cards in hand, so it could be painter and blast. Okay, they're fetching. No thanks. I'm going to keep Merc because Merc can close. Okay. And so my hope is that this Beanstalk gives us a land so that we can just Merc immediately. Their hand is empty, so yeah, this is not going to be useful. So I'll do like this. Green, Beanstalk. And I'm doing this. I could be more aggressive, but I need the card. Okay, that's actually fine. Because now we can force a crazy top deck. They scooped to that. All right. Now it's going to get hard. That was the easy part. All right, so Hydroblast comes in. I don't think Consign's where we want to be. Plow is insane. Leyline Binding is insane. Thoughtseize is not good on the draw. They just empty their hand so quickly. And they also have an aggro dimension to their deck, so I don't really want to be playing that. Terminus is not bad. Like, they often go really wide. Terminus deals with everything. Also, it doesn't target, so they can't. I think I bring in a Terminus. The main concern I have is that they're going to have Blood Moon. Maybe I do need a Force Negation instead of Terminus just to respect Blood Moon. That's definitely the scariest thing they could do here. Also, I don't necessarily need the Pest Control is very good here. So yeah, I'm going to try that. I almost never beat this deck because it's like 7 Red Blasts after board. Let's see. So 4 Pyroblast main deck, 6 main deck blasts, and then 1 additional in the side. It's just crazy. This is like every blue deck's worst nightmare. And I promise I don't complain about matchups all the time, but we've gotten some like the first 3 matchups were fine. It's just that the previous round and then this round, atrocious matchups. This one even more so. Like, this is basically the worst. If you're on a blue deck and like we're almost completely blue, this is the absolute worst thing that can happen to you is going up against Painter. Okay, this is a keep. So we'll just start with Hedge Maze. And hopefully they don't have some explosive start. Wasteland is fine. I'm going to bin. I'm going to keep. Yeah. I am definitely afraid of Blood Moon here. That would definitely wreck us, and I will have to force it. And they may, if they have the mana, they can Pyroblast around your force. Okay, it's definitely tempting to just waste this. Magus of the Moon, that is a force. Okay, and then if we waste, they may not have a lot going on there. I am going to waste, but if they have an Ancient Tomb and they have another one, they weren't even playing Magus previously. They may have gone up because there's so much beans in the meta. I wouldn't be surprised because they were just playing Blood Moon straight up. Yeah, if they have Ancient Tomb and a second Blood Moon effect, but if they have Blood Moon, I want to get this off the tip. Well, if they have Blood Moon, the game's over. I am tempted to just fetch just to get it out of my deck. I suppose there's a universe in which I up the Beanstalk and it reveals a... If we give this to them and they get a construct, it's not that big of a deal. They do have like Fable of the Mirror Breaker that's possible though. I think I'm just going to waste. I'll take my chances. I can brainstorm for a force blue card. It's unlikely to work if they do Blood Moon here. Also, I do have answers to Blood Moon. It's just very hard to answer. Because they would have been able to crank out a dude there. Okay, red. Painter. Okay. So unfortunately, I don't have a combination of cards that can let me remove this turn cycle. Hydroblast. That's good. So what I'm going to do here is... I think I just get basic island. Then I don't have a way to get white. I do want to go up with the Beanstalk. And then next turn... Yeah, I'm less worried about Blood Moon here than I am just about getting ground out. Okay. So this is their turn. If they have like an LED plus Grindstone or whatever, we're dead. But they may not have that. That was another reason to waste the Urza Saga is we kept them off getting Grindstone out of their deck. But Ancient Tomb plus Grindstone is death here. Lots of bad things can happen. Worth noting that our Leyline Binding itself is a blue card now. Imperial Recruiter. That's some ancient tech. Let's see what they get. Probably get Engineer. Oh, wait. They can get a freaking Magus. Goblin Engineer. Okay. So I'll have to stop that on the stack, I think. Because I don't want the ability. Lorien Reveal is great. So this means that I can easily just go get an island if I need to. I'm going to go get the Tundra. What do we do here? I think... So Hydroblast is going to be blue whether I like it or not. I do need to Hydroblast it. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for the fight. There's no reason to do it right now. Yeah, I'm just hoping that they don't have one of their 7 Pyroblasts, but like they almost certainly have one. Okay, this is a Hydro. I do not relish using this when I know that they could be casting Blood Moon or something like that. Counter target spell if it's red. Does it work? This has to be stopped. Okay, great. You know what? I freaking tapped the planes like a dum-dum. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that's not a huge consequence. I'm going to go get the island here just to get it out of the way. I should have brainstormed before I did that. That was a punt. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, don't punt too hard here. Be excellent. I can put the Hydro on top, which is better than playing out the island. I think I'm just going to chill for another turn cycle. Gather information. Hydroblast is so good against their deck. If they get Grindstone, I can try to Leyline Bind. Karn. Let's think about this. So this gets a wish for probably a Grindstone. I haven't actually seen Karn in these decks in a long time. It's worth noting that Consign would not do a damn thing here. So it's not bad that I don't have it in my deck. I think I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm first. See if I can find a force. There's the Hydroblast. Okay, so I could fetch Sanctuary, put force on top, brainstorm again. I don't hate that. They're tapped out. I want to stop this thing. I will cantrip when I do it. Okay, and now... Wait. How did that resolve? I didn't pass priority, did I? I thought I was passing priority for that. Okay, well, I feel very dumb. My opponent has made the mistake of going to combat for some reason. So I will Leyline Bind Karn out of the way. I don't understand what happened. They said, oops, well, I screwed up too. Okay, they conceded. Okay, well, I mean, like, yeah, that was like kind of an unclimactic end of the league, but we beat Banner. Hey, we beat freaking Echo Baronin, who's one of the most skilled players on MTGO. I mean, he is routinely winning challenges, which, by the way, if you're wondering why I don't win challenges a lot, I don't do challenges because it takes like an entire day and I've got kids. I do big tournaments. Like I'll go to Eternal Weekend. I'll go to Hunter Burton. But generally, I'm not going to be going to like do legacy challenges on like a Sunday when I could be, you know, taking my kids bike riding and stuff. But I'm sure I would benefit from playing in those. And I encourage you to do so if you have the means to do it. If you have the time and the money and you have access to the cards and everything, it does cost like, I don't know, 20 tickets, which is about $20 US. But Echo Baron, I think a lot of people just exclusively do challenges. They don't even do that many leagues. Because with leagues, you don't get the ratcheting effect of like, wow, that was a really hard round. Now I'm like 5-0 and I'm going to play somebody else who's 5-0. Like leagues, you just play against the same, like whoever, you know, so you will encounter like, but I will say the average skill level of a person on MTGO is very high. Especially for Legacy. I don't know about other formats. I only play Legacy. But like Lightwalker, let me just show you how many freaking trophies Lightwalker has. With Painter. Look at that. This is all within the past year. This is less than 12 months of data. They have, I think, like 20. Is this 20 per page? Look at that. 20 trophies. And they always play Painter. Like that's who we just beat. I want to emphasize. These are not slouches just because they're in the leagues. And a lot of people who don't play a lot of leagues have a lot of ideology, like ideas and ideals about like, oh, you shouldn't play Wastelands in your control deck, or oh, you should always have like surgicals in your sideboard and stuff like that. Like you'll talk to a lot of these people on forums, on Reddit, on Discord. When you're playing in paper, they just don't have the reps, frankly, to be able to make those assessments. They need to play more. And that's why I encourage everybody to go out and play leagues. And who knows, you might run into Echo Baron or Lightwalker or Delthar, who is a frequent trophy leader. Like I think at one point he had like 20 trophies in one trophy season, right? I think the most I've ever had is like 5 or 6 or something like that, right? So these are extremely high skill opponents that we're playing against, and our Brood did pretty well. We got to cast Pest Control twice, including taking out 2 Tamiyos and like 5 clues with one of them. This is a very good card. Now, the mana is harder when you're playing 4 colors, but it's not that bad. I mean, I was pretty happy, and I'm actually really happy I had the Hydroblast in. They came up in 2 matchups. I don't think I brought them in against Echo Baronin because it was clear that like the red was very much a splash color. Terminus didn't come in, I don't think, but we just didn't play against Go White strategies. Other thoughts on the deck, like you could absolutely play Orcish Bowmasters, but what is Orcish Bowmasters at the end of the day? It's a way of like pinging another Orcish Bowmasters, or it's a way of getting some combat damage in early and maybe closing the game, maybe inconveniencing your opponent. But I feel like Thoughtseize is way better, and Thoughtseize was an all-star throughout the entire league. I think we boarded that out a couple matchups, but in general, it was just insane. So I'm a huge fan of Thoughtseize in this meta with Doomsday. As strong as it is, it's very hard for a fair deck to beat Doomsday, frankly. It's so fast now, and the players, I think it is a lot easier to play than it used to be. Like a lot of the lines have been refined, and Tamiyo gives them an entire different angle to attack you on. They can put some Mercs in there, some Bowmasters, and Thoughtseize is really the best thing you can have in your deck against Show and Tell and against Doomsday, which are a huge portion of the meta. Let's take a look at the meta real quick. It changes from week to week, but as of recording, this is January 12th, 2026 that I'm recording. And I want to emphasize that could have been a 4-1 if I hadn't screwed up the Force of Will on the days. I was like trying to get through just like against the Birthing Ritual. Very cool deck. Shout out to Punishing Waterfall who built that, and to Mid-Determinist who was playing it. So this is the meta currently. So Dimir Tempo, huge meta share. probably the strongest deck in the meta, in my humble opinion. Like if I had to go to a tournament and I didn't know what to play, well, first of all, I'd play Beans. I love Beans. It's a lot more fun to play them with this, but this is a good deck. And this deck will not be that good once Tamiyo gets banned. This is going to get hurt a lot. Obviously, Beans, I just did pretty well without even having Tamiyo in my deck. So I think that our Beans can absolutely survive the removal of Tamiyo. Delver itself, this, like if you look at a lot of these, it just doesn't do anything. Like Bowmaster doesn't do anything against Oopsal spells, but Oopsal spells Thoughtseize is everything. If you can Thoughtseize them, you probably win, right? Eldrazi, obviously you're boarding them out. Affinity, you're boarding them out. Critical Control, you're probably boarding them out. By the way, this deck has gotten ridiculously powerful recently. Omnitel, of course, just another AB combo deck that you can disrupt. Doomsday. So if you look, like at least 8% of the meta, like if you count this, like 16% of the meta that we've seen so far, probably like 17% now, then 21%, 24% of the meta is like really, really vulnerable to Thoughtseize, not to mention ourselves, Beanstalk control, which is all the way up to 3.4%. And almost everybody's just playing Bant. Nobody's messing with black like I am. But again, if you take out Tamiyo and you think, okay, what's the logical decision? If Tamiyo's banned, even if she's only unilaterally banned, we're still playing against opponents' Tamiyos, but we ourselves don't play her. Well, I think adding black and adding Thoughtseize is pretty good. And you could add the Triumph so you can get the true 1 mana Leyline Binding, but I don't think it's necessary. So let's take a look at the list real quick. Based on this league alone, I wouldn't change anything. I am kind of suspicious of the second Terminus. It may not be necessary because Pest Control does a pretty good performance of this. You may be wondering also why I'm not playing Witherbloom Command. I just found it very hard to reliably get green and black. They're both kind of our splash colors. And by doing this, then you still have 3 black sources, 3 green sources each, but one of these can be an ETB tap. So it's a little less urgent to get access to it. I do like Bio is the land. You could absolutely play a scrub land. But Bayou seems really convenient, and that's why I'm like on this configuration. Also, I'm playing a lot more fetches. In my Bant version, I was only playing 6 or 7 fetches, depending on the configuration, plus Lorien Revealed, but I do think you need to play more and fewer Wastelands when you're playing 4-color. Other black cards that could come in, like a lot of cute stuff, like obviously like Opposition Agent is very good against Doomsday. You have cards like you could put in additional removal spells, like Snuff Out and stuff like that. I don't think that's necessary with the way the deck's configured. I'm trying to think of other reasons to be in black other than Thoughtseize. The main reason is we wanted to be in black anyway, so we could have a black source, and we were playing Xander's Lounge, which, ETB tap lands, people underestimate how much they hurt until they're really playing and they're like, damn, that feels really bad that I drew my Surveillant. And I had quit playing Surveillance completely because I was playing Xander's Lounge. But I think if you're taking out Xander's Lounge, you can play a Surveil land again. But I wouldn't play a control deck with 3 ETB, like a 60 card. I think it's probably fine if you're playing Yorion to have an extra one. We're not a combo deck, like obviously if you were playing like Alurin or something like that, it's fine to have 2 Surveillance. But look at it, like this card selection means almost nothing in the grand scheme of things, considering how many cards we're going to draw, how long the game is going to go. The longer the game is going to go, to some extent, like the weaker one little effect like this is. But yeah, I'm not sure how I would change the mana. Like I didn't actually feel that much tension on the mana. There were a couple games. I think the game against Delthar, we were like really struggling from a mana perspective. The games against Echo Baronin, I think he wasted at one point. And it was consequential that we were on a 4-color deck instead of a 3-color deck. But yeah, I'm not sure how you would change it. Against a lot of Wasteland decks, they're also blue decks, so you can bring in Carpet, and that's really good. Other thoughts? Hydroblast, again, like this, on the latest Eternal Glory podcast, I think Bosch and Roll and Epic Storm guy, Brian Cook, were talking about how they didn't even think that Hydroblast needed to be in sideboards anymore because red is so underrepresented. But it was pretty damn good in that final round. And again, it is if people are going to play Blood Moon, and believe me, when I go play Paper, there are like 2 or 3 Blood Moon decks. People love their red Stompy at our local meta. It's like 20 people, and like 2 of them will be Moon Stompy. So that's pretty good reason to have Hydroblast. So yeah, I think it probably, you can season to taste, but considering how difficult it is. Like, we just can't win with Blood Moon Resolved. We actually could have won with Harbinger of the Sea, Harbinger of the Tide in there, but we weren't able to race, and we got some bad rips. And I think I had to like force something that I didn't want to force. Obviously, I wanted to force the days on our plow, so we could have removed that thing and not. Well, we would have won if that had happened. And I don't think my opponent had another force at that point. So I think that was just totally a punt. And I will definitely be careful when I'm forcing to make sure the stack clears. Also, I have no idea what happened in that final game with Karn, where I was gonna put. I was using Mystic Sanctuary to put the force on top, and then I was going to force the Karn, and then I screwed up. And thank goodness my opponent also screwed up and passed priority. They were probably surprised at the fact, like, there was a lot of things happening on the stack at that moment. They were probably surprised, and that's why they accidentally passed priority without fetching. But yeah, like, it was actually my punt that caused their punt that saved me. But I still would have liked to just force that and then had Leyline Binding up for something else, because the game was not over. I think my opponent tilt scooped. They still were in a pretty good position, in my humble opinion. So yeah, good games all around. Great players that we got to play against today. A lot of lessons. I will look forward to watching this once it goes live on the Be Excellent channel. I'm going to upload it, and I'm not a channel member. I guess I could be, but I'd be paying $2.50 to YouTube. So you pay $5, and then YouTube gives you half of the revenue. But I could like be a member of my own channel, and then I could wake up in the morning and like, I like to watch these first thing in the morning while I'm eating breakfast. I'll rewatch my gameplay and be like, oh, why did I like, I notice a lot of times I'm casting things during my turn that I could wait. And the temptation is like, I've been playing against Daze so much, but like Daze is not as present in the meta as it used to be. And a lot of times it's fine to like let them untap and cast their Leyline Binding during their turn, things like that. I've noticed that like I often do play a land out before I absolutely need to. And then I'm like, my instinct is make a land drop. Okay, now what? No, I should be waiting and, you know, pondering, brainstorming, stuff like that before I make the land drop, just in case I do want to play a Wasteland. Because that comes up a lot, is my opponent will have like a Crocus out or something like that. Obviously, Crocus, this deck laughs at Crocus. It does not even care. I don't even have a Lavinia in here. But you know, like it does come up like where, you know, like you've already made your land drop and then you're like, oh no, I can't waste them. And Wasteland, this is just like one of the most important cards. This is the two cards that make Legacy really what it is are Wasteland and Force of Will. And these are the essence of control. And of course, they're also the essence of tempo. But like being able to clear, I think there were several matchup, like we cleared Urza Saga in one situation. I think in another situation, we cleared a tower that would have generated 3 mana the subsequent turn. Like this is definitely good. And I would like to be able to play 3, but I just don't think you can play 3 in your 4-color deck. But I also think it's a mistake to cut these completely and just not play it. You will occasionally get burned, but I think overall it's just really nice to have a Wasteland in your deck, or even have 2. When I had the Witherbloom command in there, and I did play a league that I didn't do very well, I was frustrated because I was just having so much trouble with Witherbloom command. But like Pest Control, again, 2 mana. It doesn't matter what mana you have out here. You just cycle this and you move on. Oh, they're not in a matchup where it doesn't matter. Cycling. It's a very low floor, or it's a very high floor for what this card can do. Just the fact that it can replace itself for 2 mana. So love Pest Control. Hope you're enjoying these leagues. I'm going to continue to experiment in the space. I think I'm actually going to keep playing some more leagues with this build of the deck, even though obviously the Bant version with Tamiyo is better. I just don't think it's that valuable to get reps with Tamiyo when I feel pretty confident she's going to leave the format for good. And I'm not going to miss her. I hope you won't either. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.